Come on, babies.
Hey, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to an early edition here of the Simple Minds Sports Show. A little bit early, the post-Christmas show. Spoiler alert, Ray has been drinking for days. He's on another level. I have already threatened to quit twice in our pre-meetings and wanted to put my fists through the screen. So if you get as frustrated as I do with blatant stupidity, this is not the show for you. Or if you just want to laugh and stay along, please do. Because we were talking about the Celtics and what is wrong with them. Dropped 2 straight for the first time this season, including on Christmas Day to the lowly 76ers and that putz Joel Embiid. Have they lost their identity? Jason Tatum thinks they just have to work a little bit harder, but we're going to find out if they can find their identity, or if they are truly showing their true colors. Are they front-running pussies, as somebody has said in the past? So we talk about that. We'll be also talking about many things, starting with some opening takes here from my co-host, as we always do. Dr. Big Mac, please give me your opening take.
Thank you there, Richard. With this show, we've been blessed with social media and people posting, and we had a beautiful video about Gerard Mayo, how he should be fired if Mike Vrabel wants to come on and coach this Patriots team. And the amount of stupidity comes out of you people's fucking brains is just baffling. Coming from me, that's saying something, because all you guys are saying, give him another chance. This guy can't fucking coach his way out of a paper bag right now. You know, he's aggressive going on 4th and 2. Then in the fourth quarter down by 2 possessions. You got 8 minutes left in the game, and you fucking blundered that. I mean, it's total stupidity. And for once, please get on the bandwagon of the bot pod. Get rid of Gerard Mayo.
Dr. Big Mac, not happy with the internet fools. Bobby, your opening take.
The shine is finally coming off of the shit that is Joe Mazzulla. He is finally starting to show his true colors. He is not able to lead this team through the midseason doldrums. They are tuning him out. They are dropping like flies. They no longer wish to play for him. He is a turd.
2 losses. 2 losses. The same record as last year when they went on to win the championship. We've got 2 losses.
I answered the question. What's wrong with the Celtics?
Okay, we will see Joey Maz showing his true colors. Certainly have more about that. I'll go Red Sox here. Although you can surely still be a little bit disappointed in what they have done or not done thus far in the offseason, particularly in not spending money. This has been their best offseason in 5+ seasons ever since the mid-market bonanza from John Henry has started with the Mookie Betts trade. Hands down, it's been their best. They're still not spending money the way that they could or should, but they are making improvements to the team. I think there's still yet another shoe to drop with at least one more big-ish addition. So we do a lot of bashing of the Red Sox in the show, and there'll be more of that in the show for certain reasons, but this is an ode to them and a tip of the cap. Well done, Craig Bledsoe. So far, grading on a scale of what they've done the last 5 years, but so far it's been their best offseason the last 5 years. You should be looking at improvement from this Red Sox team. So the show rundown, we will be talking about what's wrong with the Celtics. We've got Pat's scraps. Talk about that Bills game. Ray didn't have a chance to join us on Mondays because, he doesn't want to or whatever. The Red Sox hot stove, the penalty box. This just came up with that top of the head. Was putting this on.
That was great.
We're gonna put Bobby in a 5-minute major. He's gonna have to sit out as we talk about the Bruins for 5 minutes. We've got 10 questions from a guy named Rob. Came up with that off the top of my head too. Had to change that title of that. Bobby just comes up with 10 questions and asks us about it. And Simplest Minds of the Week. This is the Simple Minds Sports Show. Friday Rewind live Thursday, December 26th. Merry to all of you. Welcome to the show.
Merry.
The Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Mazzulla and Mayo are friends. What the fuck? Apparently, they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
Vacation. I'm gonna quay all these. I'm gonna fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's Q-U-E. You idiot. All right. Welcome to the show. If you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. Bobby's got a new room. Congrats on that, Bobby. We look particularly good tonight. Ray, if you're watching on your favorite podcast platform, listening on your favorite podcast platform, rate, subscribe, review wherever you are. Tell your friends, as always, tell your mothers, and tell them about our newsletter. Comes out every week. We've got all the latest blogs, all the podcasts, latest merch. We've got exclusive content, including top 5 in our behind the paywall, which you don't want to miss out on. We pay for all your Boston Heralds, Boston Globes, Boston Sports Journals, Athletic, ESPNs. We read the biggest stories, summarize them for you, give us our twist, give you a couple laughs, and you can only get that through our newsletter. So either click the link here in the description or in the comments, or go to simplemindsports.com and join the weekly newsletter. You don't want to miss it. So let's talk about the Celtics. What is wrong with the Celtics, Bobby? 2 losses in a row, first time this season. It's coming to an end, crumbling beneath their feet under the Joey Maz experiment. The time's finally run out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of it is going to be the fact that they've been on the road. It is the holidays. They're dialing down, holidays out. Porzingis is in and out. They're going to have some injuries, but I think some of it does fall on coaching. They got outmanned, outmuscled in the Magic game, who were also missing players. They were missing their 2 best guys, and they still lost that game. And then they come out flat on Christmas. So Mazzulla's got to get them dialed in. We know he's a one-trick pony. He coaches his system, and if they're not buying in what he's selling, he doesn't have a second gear.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is I think that they are totally bought in, and the second gear needs to be how he shifts in game to a different approach, and that's the question I
Don't
have.
get me started on that.
I will try not to, although that's where I want to go. The team went 8 for 33 from three-point land, 24% against the Orlando Magic. Jaylen Brown, Tatum was scratched just before that game, so we saw how that team would operate without him.
Which is funny because he's the guy that hates load management, and yet he's getting load management right now. So
let's not shit on Jason Tatum.
I'm sorry.
Played more minutes in the NBA by I think double anybody else.
He does.
And I'm not sure
game.
I don't think that they pulled him right before the game, and I didn't see exactly why. Maybe load management, but he dealt with a wrist injury. Now is not the time to shit on Jason Tatum about load management because he missed the game against the Orlando fucking Magic. Okay, who Bobby's point, they were missing their top 3 scorers, and you still lost. All right. If you want to talk about Jason Tatum in that aspect, that just shows you how important he is. When the team is without him, especially offensively, even though Christmas didn't look like that, we've been tooting this horn since last playoffs when he should have got the finals MVP of how integral he is to that offense. So shut the fuck up, Ray, on that real quick. Thank you. Hot take from Ray here, who put together most of this email. Porzingis hurts this team more than he helps this team coming back from injury. Please, this should be good.
No, I mean, he can't stay healthy. He's always on the court. It doesn't seem like he's gelling right now with the team. They went on this big run before he got back into the lineup, and now he's here, and it just seems like he throws off the whole offense and defensive assignments, and that's why I think he is the Achilles heel right now for the Boston Celtics.
Achilles heel, the Boston Celtics. Outside of Joe Mazzulla, Bobby, would you have anything to say about Porzingis'?
I mean, I'd say the only thing he's done is he's cooled off Peyton Pritchard. He's taken some shots and minutes away from him. He was out of this world. But I agree, his return has not been as succinct as it could have been, and he is in and out all the time, which messes with the lineup. But there's also other reasons for that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's not the Achilles heel of the Boston Celtics. If you have a right Porzingis, and by right, I mean playing right and healthy, which is a big if. I understand that's a big if, which is why we won't talk about it this show. But moving forward, the NBA trade deadline is going to be a big topic here. And Kristaps Porzingis pops up in every Celtic rumor I've seen on the internet. And I think for good reason. He's still tantalizing to a lot of teams. He's on a short-term deal. When he's right, the Celtics are 100% unbeatable. If you have their starting 5 with a Pritchard and Horford coming off the bench and Hauser in their whole standard, their whole lineup, they're unbeatable. We saw what they did last year. But yes, there's certainly struggles with Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know why they felt like he should come back so goddamn early. Like, he's a health risk. He has a career-long history of health concerns. He's not getting any younger. You don't need him. To your point, Bobby, Pritchard was playing out of his mind. So definitely some questions there. But you can't hold a player back if he wants to play. And that's the one surprising thing I'll give Porzingis. Dude seems like he came to Boston, really embraced it.
He loves ball.
He puts it all out there. But that could not be said about him, certainly in New York and even in Dallas at times. It felt like they were shitting on him for not wanting to be totally involved.
Well, it's like what you said is pretty much if you win a championship here in Boston, you are idolized forever. Like, your name's set in stone. And you did that here in Boston. Yeah, you were gimpy. You came out. in the finals and like push through an injury and try to play as best you could. And that's like gritty. And that's what Boston fans love the most is like a guy out there that's going to go out injured and doesn't give a fuck about his health. He's just trying to win that championship for the city and for the team. And you got to respect that. But at the same time, this year, you're coming back off of an injury and you're actually kind of hurting this team, I think, in my opinion, that because, you know, in offensive struggles, he's not 100%, you know, he's coming back from a leg injury where, you know, you're not getting your full extent of the training camp and all that stuff in the summertime. So your shot's a little off, your defense, you're a little sluggish. So I think that's what the biggest problem is for Porzingis right now.
I'll be real quick. I just want to talk about the Porzingis trade thing since you brought it up. I would just want to be careful with that trade real quick. A lot of those things we see, it's Porzingis and then plus the Celtics getting back like 3 or 4 things. In the NBA, if you trade away the best player, every single time you lose the trade, unless you're talking 5 years later with draft picks. And so I don't know if that's a good idea unless they're doing like a 1-for-1 swap of bona fide stars.
Yeah, look, I was surprised to see his name in those rumors as much as possible. And like I said, we'll talk more about it in the coming weeks as the deadline draws. But the reason why his name is in there is because everybody understands the financial burdens the Celtics are under and about to be under, even more so in the years to come. And a number of these players, 2 to 3 of these big name players at least, will not be on this team moving forward. So Brad Stevens is up against, do we just run it all back this year and lose some leverage next year and into the offseason with whether it be Porzingis or Drew Holiday or Derek White even or a Pritchard and try to get the best of it, try to win a championship with this team? Or do we get ahead of it and build some assets and try to build a decade-long contender? So, you know, that's the narrow path Stevens has to walk here. And if they traded Porzingis for Steven Adams and some young wing players and a pick in return, I'm just saying to Ray's point, I don't know how bad it's going to hurt the team. You know, unless we're still worried about the fucking chemistry, which we might have to be getting back to the real time in their loss here against Christmas, 118-114 against the 76ers. Couldn't stop Tyrese Maxey, 33 points, 12 assists, 4 rebounds. 76ers, 19 for 19 from the free throw line, better 3-point percentage. Caleb Martin, right? Or is it the brother?
Caleb Martin.
Caleb Martin hit a bunch, 7 threes, I think they had. And
career high. And basically Joe Mazzulla said that, like, we'll let Caleb Martin beat us. We'll shut everyone else down, let Caleb Martin do it. He did it with the Heat. He did it in that playoff series last year with the Heat.
Caleb Martin owns the Celtics.
He is a Celtics killer, that guy.
This is a second against Mazzulla. This is a Pittsburgh Steelers versus Tom Brady. We do what we do every Sunday, and you get shredded every time you do it. And if the Celtics, to Bobby's point, cannot adapt in games that are not going their way through their method of play, their talent will still probably win out. It is the NBA, and they are 7-game series when it comes to the playoffs. Their talent will probably still win out. But if you want to stick with that long-term conversation, they're not going to have this talented of a roster all the time. They're going to have to adapt. Brown and Tatum are going to have to adapt. And if you have a Porzingis who shoots like 75% from the post, like, can you maybe take a quarter and run some shit from that part of the court instead of from 35 feet away? I think that'll always be a second guess with this team unless they win another championship. You know, then really we will have to throw our hands up if we don't have to already. But what pissed me off about it was this Jaylen Brown clip, which I'm about to show you about. This is why I still have the question: are they front-running pussies? How old do they have to get? How mature do they have to get? How many championships do they have to win before they start doing shit like this? Please play the.
Any idea what led to that slow start?
I just think we just came out too casual. I just think we was walking to our spots. Nobody was sprinting down the floor, just kind of hanging around, just trying to veer back to get the ball instead of just pushing it down the court and just being aggressive. I feel like we just started off the game just slow, and they took advantage of that.
Is it tougher this season, having been through and you won the championship and everything? Is it tougher this season to kind of get as motivated as you need to be for some of these regular season games?
No, I think it's about the same. It's just, it's a new year. It's not the same. And we got to go out and earn it. But the motivation is there. For me personally, just getting up and just going to play basketball is a blessing. But as a group, we got to be better.
How, in this point, I get that you're the defending champs. You're going to get the best every night, and they understand that. I think they really do understand that. But the idea of we were slow to our spots, we were just lazy coming into it. You just lost to the Orlando Magic, and it's Christmas Day on national television against your heated rival, as bad as they have been this season, with a former MVP, as bad as he's been this season. If you can't get up for that regular season game, what are we doing? That you can't use that as an excuse anymore, which, to their credit, I don't think they did. I don't think Jaylen Brown is using any excuse. He's just explaining what happened, but that should not happen. Point blank, it just shouldn't happen if you want to be championship medal like you say you are. Some of those games will happen. Orlando can happen. Tatum falls out the last second. You got to go into a game, and Orlando always plays them tough, and that's a trap game. And okay, you lose that, fine. They should have beat that 76ers team by fucking 20 on Christmas Day with that type of motivation. So I don't give a ton of leeway there for this team. And those question marks, the reason why they're still not getting the amount of credit that they probably should after winning that championship is shit like this. They haven't earned the right to LeBron James their way through the regular season and turn on a light switch. They haven't proven that they can flip the switch whenever they want to. They haven't proven that yet, I don't think. And neither is Gary Washburn, who burnt us tonight.
Yeah, Gary.
On an interview. Really left us in the dust, Gary. Thanks for that. But here's what he has to say in his latest Boston Globe column. Opposing teams are no longer intimidated by the Celtics' three-point barrage. They're getting gashed. They're gashing their defense, outworking them for 50-50 balls, and causing flurries of turnovers. The Celtics started Christmas Day as if they had too much eggnog, committing 6 first-quarter turnovers in a game they never had control of. And another quote from that.
Too much eggnog. Good line, Gary.
Good line, Gary. In another article, he calls them
like
borderline embarrassing for the effort that they put out there, which was your effort in making it to the interview with us tonight, Gary. Borderline embarrassing. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. A team like this should get crushed when they have efforts like this on Christmas.
Well, especially when you're the supposed front runners to win back-to-back NBA titles for the first time since Golden State did it, 6 years ago? So, yeah, I mean, you're going to burn. You're going to get the best competition from everyone every night that you play. And if you have a lackluster performance like you did in Orlando because you were shot 26% from three-point land, and then you go to home against Philadelphia and you play like shit, I mean, yeah, everyone's going to shit all over you because you are supposed to be the lone bright spot in Boston sports right now, and you're 2 in a row losses.
Players were tired and disinterested. Coach didn't get them up. He didn't know what button to press. Sometimes there's other things, but I always come after the in-game tactics, playing the same way. Also, part of it is managing the players and managing moods. That's a big thing. That was a big Phil Jackson thing. You got to manage the mood, manage the players. Maybe he doesn't know how to do that.
You would be a Zen Master fan, wouldn't you?
It's just a comparison. That was
I'll
something
just
he
give
did.
you this, though. I'll give you something a little bit different on Christmas Day. Christmas Day games are weird. They're weird times, and it throws players off, and they're all creatures of habit. Christmas Day is a player's game. Christmas Day is a guys that want to go out there and showcase and star. This is why the Celtics are generally good in these days. Jason Tatum usually has a fucking day at Christmas because he knows that the cameras are on him. And he played well, I guess. But, yeah, and, the overarching theme here is they were not ready to go, and that generally falls in the coach's bucket. So there you go. You got one up on Joey Maz there for Christmas, Bobby. Congrats.
Sucks, Maz.